On our 8th wedding anniversary, Adrian filled an entire room with Pop-Mart blind boxes. He said the figurines delivered emotional value and could keep the kids happy, the perfect gift. The relatives gathered around, slack-jawed. They whispered that a single limited edition piece could auction for $1.08 million. Adrian had spent a fortune assembling the whole set. To them, his devotion was absolute. Nathan pressed against my side, rattling off each doll's name without stopping for breath. Lily couldn't stop cuddling the toys. Only I stood there like an outsider, hands hanging useless at my sides. They're not practical. We should return them, use the money for Lily's ballet lessons, Nathan's boxing classes. The instant the words left my mouth, 3 faces darkened. My son called me a washed-up hag who couldn't keep up with hype culture. My daughter scolded me for wasting her father's thoughtful gesture. The air froze until the door swung open. Sorry I'm late, darlings. Vivian brought couture doll outfits for your little beauties. Do you love them? Every drop of blood in my veins turned to ice. Vivian. Nathan. Lily. I laughed suddenly, tears sliding down my cheeks. A single thought echoed in the hollow of my chest. My marriage was over. Emery, every pair of eyes pivoted to Vivian. The woman back from Paris moved like walking moonlight. Adrian's gaze never left her. I'd never seen that kind of hunger in them. Nathan dropped his toy and dove into her arms. Grinning like sugar, he chirped. Vivian, you're finally home. Tell Mom these dolls are lit. Everyone in my class is scrambling for them. If you don't have one, you're basically a loser. Lily, swishing her princess dress, lunged for Vivian too, squabbling with her brother over who got the best spot in the hug. In that second my blood froze all over again. Vivian, Vivian, Vivian. When we named the twins, I'd asked Adrian for ideas. Without hesitation he wrote, Nathan and Lily. I asked why. He refused to explain. For 8 years that mystery had been a barbed splinter in my heart. Now, at last, I knew. He was using our children to keep his first love alive. Lily stuck her tongue out at me, clutched the doll clothes Vivian had brought, and cradled them like treasure. Vivian gets me. I've been begging for doll outfits forever. Daddy said it would be a surprise, turns out it's from you, Morgan. She threw herself into Vivian's arms and whispered loud enough for the table to hear, I saved every princess dress you sent. I'll wear one tomorrow just for you. Adrian finally surfaced from his memories, his eyes icing over when they met mine. Sophia's a stay-at-home mom, she's not online much. Of course she doesn't get the hype. Not everyone studies abroad and breathes the fashion circuit like you. Laughter and pity washed over me. I looked down at my canvas apron. Minutes ago I'd been sweating in the chef's kitchen, helping housekeeper prep this banquet. My time had never belonged to me. Next to radiant Vivian I looked like hired help, no, worse, like part of the furniture. Vivian slanted Adrian a reproachful glance, voice syrupy. Alex gives everything to this family. Mocking her is low, even for you. Alex, don't take it to heart. These dolls are impossible to source. If Riley tracked down the whole set, he must care. So they remembered it was my anniversary, yet the gift was only a bribe for the kids. No one had asked what I actually liked. Once all the dolls were boxed again, Nathan's stomach growled. He shoved my elbow. Mom, is the food ready yet? I'm starving. Vivian just landed, she must be hungry too. Hurry up. Dad says hungry women stop being pretty. Adrian flicked a warning stare. Nathan shut up at once. Housekeeper brought out the courses, and the relatives resumed their cheerful buzz. Everything that had happened felt like a hallucination only I could see. My place at the table was occupied by Vivian. As I stepped forward, Lily shrieked first. Mom, what are you doing? That's Vivian's seat. She's back for one meal, can't you eat in the kitchen with housekeeper-like staff? Nathan chimed in at once, yeah. On TV married women aren't allowed at the table. You've got no wifely manners, move. I froze as if slapped across the face, cheeks stinging. Nathan took a bite, grimaced, and spat it onto the white linen. Gross, why does your food taste like this? It's a special day, why can't we have fried chicken? Vivian says today we're royalty. Make it again. The relatives only laughed at the kids' cute candor, complimenting Nathan's precocious wit. Not one voice rose to defend me. When the silence stretched too thin, Adrian snapped his chopsticks down. Standing there like a statue, can't you hear, Nathan? The whole family's together and you're sulking. Who exactly are you punishing? Vivian tried to smooth things over. Hey now, Nathan, Lily, how about I DoorDash something? Mom's exhausted, let's not make her cook twice. Adrian pushed her phone away, voice dangerously soft. I'm asking once, can you make fried chicken or not? Adrian, I told you junk food stunts their growth. I didn't get to finish. Both kids burst into tears. Mean mommy. You just don't want us happy. Auntie, she never lets us eat good stuff, says it's unhealthy, she's scared we'll like restaurant food better. Her cooking sucks. If you hadn't sent us takeout from Paris, we'd have starved. Vivian forced a laugh, dabbing their tears. All right, Auntie's taking you out, no more crying. The wailing switched off instantly. The twins bounced on their chairs. Long live Vivian. Adrian stood, kid's hands in his. We're done here. Clean this up yourself. I'm taking them out, no one needs your sour face ruining dinner. The banquet collapsed. I stared at the wrecked table, suddenly hollow. 8 years of marriage, every ounce of me poured into this family. Yet not one thank you, not 1 inch are you okay? Only endless blame. The children I'd nearly died delivering adored Vivian. The husband I loved kept his first love on a pedestal inside his heart. I no longer saw the point. Maybe this marriage had already flatlined. I printed a divorce agreement and carried it home. Past midnight, Adrian finally returned, children clinging to his legs. Dad, promise you'll buy the villa next door for Vivian. Or Nathan and I will stay mad forever. Adrian sighed, tapping Nathan's nose. You like Vivian that much? What about Mom, done with her? Nathan's mouth puckered in disgust. Mom's so lame, she never gets us. Vivian rules, fried chicken and Coke. Tomorrow I can brag to the whole class. The bedroom door swung open and the 2 kids barreled straight in to go back to sleep. The living room lights were off. Adrian's brows were knitted tight as he stared at the figure on the couch. What the hell? You blind? The lights snapped on, illuminating the divorce papers on the coffee table. Adrian, let's talk. He rubbed his exhausted eyes, as if he'd used up every scrap of warmth outside and had none left for me. Not again, Sophia. I'm beat. I have a board meeting tomorrow. 10 minutes. That's all. I stood, knocked on the kids' door, and brought them to the living room. If Daddy and I divorce, who would you choose? Adrian exploded. Have you lost it? Saying this in front of them, just because I took them to dinner with Vivian today? I was exhausted too, the kind that seeps into bone, so tired every word felt like overdrawing my sense of self. You know it's more than that. Nathan and Lily's names you still haven't explained, but I've figured it out myself. I didn't want to expose you. When they're older they can decide. The moment I finished, Nathan's eyes lit up. We want Aunt Vivian. Mom, can you give us to Aunt Vivian? Lily clutched her doll, dressed in the new skirt Vivian had given her that day. Mom, I want Aunt Vivian too. She said she'll make me pretty like her. The last ember of hope died. Looking at the children I'd carried for 9 months, I felt an absurd urge to laugh. Maybe when grief hits rock bottom, tears just won't come. Before Adrian could speak, Nathan was already tugging him toward the coffee table. Daddy, hurry and divorce. Then you won't have to buy Aunt Vivian a house, she can live with us. Can we pick her up tomorrow? School's open house day and I want her to come. Lily's little face turned icy as she seized Adrian's other hand. No way, I asked first. You go with Mom, my turn next. You don't even want Mom, why dump her on me? I don't want her either. Go away. I swallowed the urge to lose control and flipped to the last page of the agreement. Sign. I'll give your family the happiness they want. My fingertips trembled under the light. Adrian exhaled as though patience had reached its limit. Sophia, we'll talk tomorrow. We both need to cool off. In the end he never signed. That night Nathan even tossed the papers onto his nightstand, praying he'd wake up to a brand new mom. Watching it all, I silently switched off my 5 a.m. alarm. 8 years of chains slid away. I felt lighter. Morning came. I stayed in bed trying to catch up on sleep, couldn't sleep, but couldn't get up either. When Nathan found no breakfast on the table, he stomped upstairs and kicked my door. How lazy can you be? Where's our food? Mom, get up. I'm hungry. Quiet Lily went straight to the landline, her voice echoing through the mansion. Aunt Vivian, you said you'd bring sandwiches? Yay. I'll come right over. Hearing that, Nathan pulled a face at my door. Stay in bed forever. Dad already hates you, now he'll hate you even more. Lily, let's go. Aunt Vivian will feed us yummy stuff. Let the lazy ghost starve. Tears soaked the pillow, tremors rolled through me. 3 hours later, I opened the school's livestream on WeChat. Open house day in progress. Claiming I was over it would be a lie. They came from my body after all. I still cared until I saw Nathan and Lily sitting obediently beside Vivian, and the feeling evaporated. All that remained was bitter irony. Classmates buzzed around them, compliments making both kids tilt their chins higher. Pretty, right? I told you my mom is gorgeous. I didn't bring her before cause I was afraid you'd feel ugly. Lily smacked a kiss on Vivian's cheek. This is my mom, a famous designer overseas. You can Google her. She's designed couture doll outfits for every Pop Mart series. I'll invite you to our house to see. Kids compete over everything. After watching several parents dismissed, the crowd drifted out. Only Nathan and Lily stayed glued to Vivian. When open house ended, the front gate opened and movers streamed in with Vivian's clothes and belongings. Right behind them came the kids, arms locked around Vivian's. Vivian laughed helplessly. Didn't we agree I'd move next door? This is your mom and dad's house, it wouldn't be right. She signaled the movers to take everything back. Nathan instantly objected. Mom said you get custody of us, we have to stay with you. Scheming Lily put on a pitiful face. Aunt Vivian, you won't ditch us, will you? You're all we've got. If you leave, Mom will beat us to death. I stood upstairs, listening to my own children slander me. My heart was past hurting. I felt nothing. I stepped into view. Move in. Soon this house will be yours anyway. Ignoring Vivian's delighted surprise, I turned and entered my room. I began clearing away every trace of me. The EpiPen and antihistamines, staples when the twins were small. The premature pair had always been weak. Pediatric flu meds became routine once school started. Nathan, the boy, was forever stripping off layers and catching colds. I'd sit bedside entire nights when fevers spiked, afraid to blink. Lily was better, but loved sneaking my makeup. A swallowed lipstick meant instant stomach pumps. I could tell every pill by sight, no labels needed. All that care never once noticed by them. From now on, they never would. By 8 p.m. Vivian was sketching in the glass-walled study. The kids lolled in the den scrolling videos. A shriek from Vivian sent both racing upstairs. What's wrong, Aunt Vivian? She sobbed, pointing at coffee-soaked concept sketches. A month of work ruined. Lily darted to the desk for tissues, halfway there when Nathan shoved her aside. They whispered, heads together. The instant Adrian walked in they chorused, Daddy. Mom wrecked Aunt Vivian's sketches on purpose. She's evil. Make her leave. I froze in the hallway, disbelief rising. You're lying. I never even. Nathan wailed. Mom won't even apologize and threatened to keep us out of school if we told. I dug nails into my palms, voice glacial. Vivian was here the whole time, ask her. Vivian hesitated, conflicted. Before she could answer, Adrian hurled the cup at my feet. So my own son lies for a stranger, is that it? Sophia, do I look stupid to you? Lily sobbed until she hiccuped. Teachers say own up to mistakes, Mom's worse than us. Adrian's face iced over. Sophia, aren't you ashamed? Making your kids take the blame, do you even deserve to be their mother? I burst out laughing, and while I laughed the tears finally fell. That's right, I'm not worthy. Let's get divorced, let Vivian raise them. As you wish. Adrian slammed the door behind him. Behind me, the two kids were already clinging to Vivian, begging for a reward. I drifted from the room in a haze, the last 8 years suddenly grotesque and absurd. Halfway down the stairs, the vase on the console crashed in front of me and shattered. Nathan stood on the landing above, a slingshot in his hand, looking down. Stupid mommy, get out of here. If you dare bully Aunt Vivian again, you'll pay. As I turned away, I wiped the tears and whispered so low I could barely hear it myself. Fine, I'm leaving. I won't ever come back. I set my foot on the last step, slipped, and the back of my head cracked against the marble. Blood bloomed across my nightgown in an instant. Lily peeked from around the corner, high-fiving her brother. Yes. Told you the trick would work, your aim just suck. Headshot. Good luck galore, oh yeah. Nathan and Lily skipped off, humming. They rounded the corner and ran straight into the man holding the divorce papers. What happened? Lily pinched her thigh and burst into tears on cue. Mommy said we'd be punished if we didn't help her lie. She slipped and fell all by herself. Nathan snapped out of his glee and nodded along. Adrian's gaze froze over, colder than winter surf. He lifted me into the ambulance and tossed the signed agreement onto my lap. I thought you only resented Vivian. I never imagined you'd use the kids to get back at her. Sophia, you said it yourself, you're no longer fit to be their mother. We're done. They wheeled me into St. Luke's ER, and as I slipped toward blackness, 8 years of memories flickered like a broken reel. I'd married to clear my family's debt. I'd given birth so my children could have a whole home. For 8 long years I'd swallowed every insult, scurrying like a rat in the gutter. I was the maid, the nanny, the tool, anything but myself. They said Jamie and Casey had dreams, drive. But before marriage I'd lived that life too. They stripped off every defense, yanked out every barb of my emotional armor, wrapped me in the apron of a housewife, then laughed that I had no sense of self. How hilarious. When the surgery ended they rolled me to a room. The instant I woke, Nathan and Lily had already texted. They missed me. The taut string inside me quivered. I didn't answer. Instead I opened the security feed. Both kids were on the garden swings. Think this'll really make her come home? Of course. She adores us. We just have to apologize and she'll be back. If she doesn't, who'll do the chores? Aunt Vivian's hands are for sketching, she can't touch dirt. A free nanny's too good to waste. The day I was discharged I hailed a cab straight to Eastbrook, clutching nothing but my passport and Adrian's parting gift of divorce papers. The moment I bought my one-way ticket, my phone pinged. You're out. Where are you? We need to talk. I saw the study's security feed. Maybe he'd apologize, maybe offer a scrap of warmth. But what he owed me now was far more than words. Outsiders said I'd won the jackpot, rich husband, brilliant kids. No one asked how tired I was, no one cared what I thought. Everything Vivian flaunted was once my dream too. It was time to reclaim what I'd lost. I didn't reply, I simply blocked and deleted him. Then I boarded the plane toward freedom. The aircraft lifted off, slicing through the horizon. Morning light poured through the window, yet it couldn't touch the fog inside me. I leaned against the seat back, and the moment I closed my eyes the past 8 years surged in. I'd once prayed for a perfect family, for a husband's love, for filial children. Before Vivian came back I'd believed the dream reachable if I strived hard enough, if I poured every drop of blood into the house. Hearts are flesh, I'd thought. They would warm, they would soften. Naive. Married women post videos, sobbing over marital grievances. I'd kill time scrolling, nodding at every complaint. I'd forward clips to Adrian. The ticks turned to read almost instantly. He never let the phone leave his side. But not a single reply ever came. I told myself he understood, just wasn't eloquent. I told myself love still lived, dulled by middle age. Courtesy without quarrel, good enough. Then Jordan shattered the illusion. I never told Adrian one thing. Vivian's account popped into my algorithm, and like a starving mouse I clicked follow. From that day, every video she posted carried the same comment tag at Adrian. Within 10 minutes he replied, text, emojis, the works, playful, nothing like the cold tycoon I knew. I wondered if his assistant ran the account. Impossible. Too many secrets he never let me near. When Adrian DoorDashed dinner I reasoned he still cared, worried I might starve. Yet the next message was always, the kids love this place, study the flavors and cook it for them. On rainy days he'd send an umbrella, when fever hit he'd sit watch. Warmth sparkled until I tried to lean closer. Then he'd remind me, you're sick, who'll look after the twins? For their sake you must stay healthy. Every kindness ended at the children. Every scrap of happiness was paving stones for them. 30 years old and I'd never felt so small. The punchline, someone told me Adrian chose me only because Vivian and I shared a major design. The difference, She'd conquered Paris, New York, while I'd rotted at home. Back then I'd thumped my chest and sworn this life was my choice, proud of my loving husband and adorable kids. But self-delusion expires, and 8 years had ground the lie to dust. Jordan, no more pretending. Even the twins rubbed my unloved status raw, every single day. The plane touched down. I rented a midtown loft before my phone even booted. It lit up with messages from home. Nathan wrote, "Mom, when are you coming back? Don't you want us anymore? We miss you. Mom, I miss your cooking." The fried chicken gave me the runs and my throat's on fire. Lily spammed crying emojis and a photo of a dress the nanny had ruined in the wash. "Mom, they don't hand wash. Come home soon. Lily misses you, Mom's the best. Aunt Vivian says her skincare's too pricey for me to touch. Buy me a cheap set, okay?" My face is all rashy. I laughed, bitter, hollow. Just as I expected, they only remembered me when life got inconvenient. Remembered me as their mother, or maybe just as the free, ever-reliable nanny. I still didn't answer any of their messages. I simply deleted the twins' contact info. From today on, someone else can play Mom. In the cab I stared out at the scenery. This was the first time I'd ever left the country alone. I used to think that little clifftop mansion would cage me for life. I believed I wouldn't wander far until the kids were grown. Now that I've actually done it, everything feels easier than I imagined. The cityscape here is nothing like home. Skyscrapers crowd the center, and only a scatter of pedestrians cross the streets. Everyone's face carries a half measure of indifference, the kind life grinds into you. Exactly the way I look now. When I signed the lease, the landlord studied me, expression torn. "Taylor, this building sits near Roosevelt, so a lot of young families live here. It can get noisy at night. Call me if it bothers you." I waved it off. I didn't care. I'd chosen this midtown flat because it was closest to downtown and would make job hunting simple. 8 years of lifting kids had left me severely sleep-deprived. Even if the neighbors threw a party, I could drop off in seconds. That night I learned how naive I still was. Footsteps thundered overhead, kids running, each impact rattling the flimsy floor. The insulation was garbage. A woman's voice cracked with exhaustion. "Stop running. You'll bother the neighbors. This is the last time. Stand still. Don't move." The child's wail scraped my nerves raw. Nathan had been just as wild, and back then I hadn't slept a full night in months. I was about to march upstairs and confront them when the father appeared. "Shut it. Mom is working. If you can't behave, I'll give you a lesson you won't forget." "No. Mommy promised she'd take me shopping. I want ice cream." A sharp slap followed. I could picture it. My heart leapt into my throat, bracing for the full meltdown. But no sobs came. The father spoke again. "Remember, Mom still has to work. Stay quiet until she's finished, and the promise stands. After that, silence. So children's tears can be switched off. So fathers, too, are supposed to discipline." Under those viral rants about deadbeat husbands, commenters abroad always preach, "Divorce and marry overseas. You'll finally have a life." I used to scoff, convinced every man was another Adrian. Watching that neighbor, I realized the cliché carried weight. Women have been chained by convention so long, trapped at tiny stoves and glued to homework, while everyone forgets that without a father's involvement, it's almost impossible to raise a whole, healthy child. That night, eyes shut, I received a WhatsApp friend request from an unknown number. The profile photo was Vivian. Imagining her new mom panic, I accepted out of kindness, ready to share what I'd learned. A voice call followed instantly. It was Adrian. Exhaustion lined his face. Work plus domestic chaos had clearly worn him down. He kneaded his brow and finally spoke. "You still refuse to come home? Sophia, my patience has limits. How long are you going to throw this tantrum?" "Fine, I apologize. The twins need you. The nanny's useless. They stayed up watching cartoons and just crashed." My tone was ice, flat as a weather report. "So," he froze, startled by my indifference. "So come back. Nathan and Lily are your flesh and blood. You're fine leaving them with strangers." I laughed out loud. "Strangers? Adrian, I'm the stranger in that house. Since you dialed, you've spoken 4 sentences, all about the kids. What about me? Have you asked once if I'm okay? If my injuries still hurt? His voice dropped. You were discharged, so the injuries can't be serious. You have a family. Living in a hotel is ridiculous. I know what you really mean. But we're hardly newlyweds, no need for the soap opera script. Sure, I could coo over you, but what's the point? Will it double your bank balance? Boost the twins' grades? You wanted divorce, I agreed. I know you're just sulking. Vivian's only staying a couple of days, she'll move out. Must you make this ugly? After 8 years he's still the same self-centered man. Weariness flooded me. I was almost panting. I raised the kids alone, never asked you to lift a finger. Fatherhood was a vacation for you. That era is over. People can't stand still forever. You always knew what I needed, yet you never bothered to give it, not even a pretend ounce of warmth. I burned alive like a candle for this family. I never asked you to understand, only for fairness. Since all of you decided I was unfit, I granted your wish and left. Why call now? Unless the kids can't find something, then I'll tell you once. That's it. I'm done. Ignoring whatever he started to say, I hung up. Yet for someone chronically starved of sleep, I spent the night wide awake. Adrian's texts kept coming. Every line the same old accusations. 8 years of marriage and I gave you everything, good food, good schools. What else could you want? I kill myself at the office closing deals. You sit at home shielded from wind and rain. Do you know how many people envy your life? You never used to be like this. How did you become so unreasonable? People are selfish. They only see their own trenches. He can't see my struggle. I can't feel his cruelty anymore. But I won't waste another minute lecturing him. I muted Vivian's account and, overnight, built a new portfolio. The one blessing here, no one dismisses a resume for an 8-year household CEO gap. By sunrise I'd hit send. 2 design firms called before noon. Because I hadn't produced a single piece in 8 years, they wanted a fresh concept sketch to prove I still had chops. I agreed at once. For 3 days I never left the apartment. I burrowed into the drawing, losing daylight in a swirl of lines. Old injuries from years of hoisting toddlers flared up. My lower back screamed. I had to shift position every few minutes. When the sketch was finally done, the clock read 12:30 a.m. I emailed it off. They replied after dawn. Oh my God, you finished something this polished in 3 days? Taylor, you're even more driven than I thought, working past midnight. Please rest. She couldn't know. This level of effort wasn't 1/10 of the exhaustion I'd endured raising kids. I signed the contract. Meanwhile, back at the Vance estate, all hell had broken loose. Nathan's homework folder had been torn to shreds, and Lily's doll was missing its couture outfit. The 2 kids were sprawled across the living room rug, shrieking and writhing until Vivian fixed their world. Aunt Vivian, I don't want to do homework. I already know all the answers, why do I have to do it again at home? Aunt Vivian, my doll's clothes vanished. Can you buy me something prettier? The old ones are bored, my friends already saw them. The door swung open and Adrian stalked in, glare first, interrogating the nanny. Why is my silk necktie creased? You can't even handle laundry. Do you know how many people mocked me today? This tie is the face of Vance Ventures. Whoever washed it, forget this month's paycheck. He had no idea that, until recently, every shirt had been hand-scrubbed and pressed by me. Assuming the nanny had always done it, he vented on her instead. 2 housekeepers scrambled to corral the kid-made disaster, mumbling replies between bends and sweeps. Riley, your shirts used to be washed by the lady herself. Our first time, we're still learning. Sorry, it won't happen again. Vivian accepted the DoorDash order, tearing the bag open on the table. Nathan, your fried chicken's here. Stop crying, okay? Auntie added a little toy, too. The boy who usually begged for fried chicken turned green. Ooh, chicken again? I've hit the bathroom 5 times in 2 days, no more. I want real food. I want mommy's cooking. Lily joined the chorus, her wails loud enough to rattle the rafters. Adrian's temper, already frayed, snapped. Enough. Aunt Vivian worked all day. She doesn't have time to cook. She ordered what you like, what else do you want? Push me again and you'll feel my hand. The twins only cried louder. Daddy yelled, "We hate you. We don't want a daddy." Mommy cooked even when she was exhausted. Why can't Aunt Vivian? Aunt Vivian promised she'd be better than Mommy, she lied. And Lily, you got carted to St. Luke's yesterday for gastro. Vivian clapped a palm over Nathan's mouth before he finished. Dylan, gastro what? Vivian offered a sheepish smile. I treated them to shellfish bisque. Turns out Lily can't handle it. My bad, I'll be more careful. Adrian slammed his phone onto the table. Lily's stomach is delicate, she's never been that bad before. Didn't you at least buy pediatric flu meds? Rush her to the hospital over every little thing and her immunity tanks. Seeing Vivian's tear-brimming remorse, Adrian swallowed the rest of his scolding. He spun on his heel and thundered upstairs, door rattling in its frame. Even so, the foyer still flooded with the twins' sobs. He clipped a slice of the security feed and WhatsApped it to me via Vivian's account. Sophia, the kids miss you. They like Vivian only because she's novel. She's an outsider, she can't replace you. Are you really going to punish your own children? I was hunched over a concept sketch when the clip arrived. I didn't reply. Instead I exported a 10,000-word document, 8 years of allergies, bedtime rituals, favorite bedtime songs, every line written in a mother's ink. Adrian had never logged a single pediatric visit. The file was Greek to him. Minutes stretched into hours, no answer. In my drawer the divorce papers waited, effective date looming. I thought the drama had crested. But when I clocked out that night, a figure lounged beside the lobby fountain. Adrian had flown in unshaven, stubble blue against clenched jaw. He thrust his phone at me, home screen frozen on a family selfie. Sophia, the kids are 8. You're moving to Paris forever? Your pride is that monumental? I laughed, sharp, brittle, jabbing at the face he'd Photoshop merged into the frame. Adrian, you fake a family photo and still insist I belong in it. His shoulders folded like crushed silk. Sophia, work buries me, but I've never shirked provider or husband duty. What more do you need? Fine, the kids defamed you. I failed to teach them. But aren't you guilty, too? If you'd entertained them like Vivian, would they have turned on you? Before I left for Shanghai, Nathan and Lily wrapped around my legs, begging me to bring Mommy home. You've been gone so long you missed it, Vivian's already moved out. Nathan kicked her out himself. He says no one beats his real mom. He regrets everything. My smirk widened, uncontainable. The apple, the tree, both rotten. They hated me because I vetoed junk food and couldn't identify collectible dolls. They liked me the moment Vivian's pampering bored them. Not once did they notice the mother sacrificed on the altar of their whims. Adrian, I served this family without complaint. Now you gag on a single gulp of my reality, too bitter. You praise Vivian, young, gorgeous, driven. Guess what, I had dreams, too. I don't resent her, I thank her. At 30, she handed me the exit I was too blind to take. We're done. The moment the cooling off expires, I'll land at Eastbrook, sign, and vanish. If you came to rehire a nanny, sorry, the position is permanently closed. I pivoted toward the curb. He lunged, fingers manacling my wrist. Sophia, we're not kids anymore. Fight loud, but think of them. Tears detonated. I wheeled and cracked my palm across his cheek. Children I birthed alone. For 8 years only I retreated. Now the wheel turns, your rotation. When they cluster-fed till dawn, where were you? When fever spiked and I begged you to spell me, where were you? Of everyone on earth, you least deserve my retreat. Your gifts. Plush toys to keep them busy. Your clothes for me. Sweatpants so I could sprint after toddlers. In this marriage I lost my sense of self. I'm exhausted, release me. I spat the last word and left him blinking, astonished that the lucky housewife had transformed into this alien. No matter, solo parenting will tutor him fast. I predict enlightenment within a semester. I ducked into the rideshare and ghosted. The day the cooling off lapsed, I touched down, signed the decree, never once meeting Adrian's gaze. Walking past his SUV to the curb, I spotted 2 small palms slapping the rear window, mouths open in soundless howls. I kept walking. Thank you for listening. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this story? If it moved you, like, share, and drop your thoughts below. Subscribe for more. See you next time.